Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer podcast today. So don't sweat the small stuff. Before we do, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel. My Cash App is, everything's in the description. All the information. Cash App, my handle is Charlie Greer Podcast. Again, Cash App, Charlie Greer Podcast. Let's do this. So don't sweat the small stuff. It'll drive you crazy. I mean, you can if you, but you know. Coffee. So yeah, the small things that'll just kind of eat you alive if you let them. Just like enjoy. I mean, that's my philosophy, my humble opinion, is just enjoy little things in life. Tina, how are you doing, Tina? I haven't done a podcast in about a week, so I thought, yeah, why not? Why not go on? Had a good weekend. I went and saw Scotty Bears and Mama Bears. Jeff, hey, what's up? Had a great time. Mama Bears has got like a cat in her yard that she, feeds, or multiple cats. One of them had like kittens, so that was cool to see, like a mama cat with her kittens. Tina, my mom's doing good. She's doing better, man. We all get old. She's doing better. Thank you for asking. So yeah, seeing the mama cat with the kittens, and then we grilled. Scotty, of course, is the master chef. He grilled out. He had, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but chuck eye. It's not a ribeye. It's a chuck eye. It's kind of like it's a steak. It's almost the same, but I think they're awesome. I can't tell the difference. And of course, I wanted mine burnt to a cinder. How do you want your steak? Cremated. That's how I want it burnt. Just they make fun of me for it, but that's how I like it. I want it, I want it like beef jerky, perhaps. But yeah, that's, I enjoyed the small things this weekend. We went on a Miami Vice kick. Me and Scotty Beers, like we watched the first one, like the pilot or whatever, and then. But we're laughing so hard, and we're actually like commentating that we only got through the first two, and good times. You gotta enjoy the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy it. Enjoy the the times you have. Today I was thinking, reminiscing or whatever you want to call it. Like I used to be a photo editor for Shooting Star Photo Agency in Hollywood. It's near like Sunset and Vine. It's on McCadden. So McCadden. So the building is like this historical building, and I'm pretty sure it's an historical society because they've had to redo to keep this thing from falling from an earthquake. And there's multiple things in this building. Like when I worked there was a headshot place. In the back, there's a recording studio. There always has been. Where I worked upstairs, pardon me, used to be a famous recording studio. Jimi Hendrix. I mean, everybody. My office, where my office was the area where they cut the vocals, and they had electrical outlets on the floor. It was all wooden floors, and they were brass outlets, like super heavy duty. And when I started work, I didn't know if there was a plaque inside that I've walked by 100 times, whatever, before I read it. And I'm like, oh, okay, and that's what this is. And then about like, don't sweat the small stuff. Like there were things, as a photo, I had to talk to so many publicists and this, that, and the other, and publishers, and I probably made 250 phone calls a day or received because hey, we need this, we need that. And as a photo editor, I would license these images. We had hundreds of photographers, and then we kind of represent them. So our deal was no in perpetuity. And I probably talked about this before, but like, if it was a news broadcast, well, they just want it for like one day or whatever. So it was cheaper. If you want something that's hard covered or like something that's like on a t-shirt, an album, a book, it's going to be more expensive. And then they usually do like 5-year licensing, meaning you're basically renting the image for 5 years. And every 5 years, you got to pay this certain amount. And a lot going on. Easy to go down that road of like sweating the small stuff, you know. And it's like, oh my God, because a lot of these publishers in New York don't. A few of them, more than a few, would call me, and I was the new guy. So like, oh yeah, you're the new guy, okay. You know, they need a lot of stuff, and then they would always say like, don't call me. If I ever need anything, I'll call you. I don't want you calling me. And I'd be like, that's kind of weird. Like, why not? Why would I call you? You know, I'm not going to solicit you for, you know. Then it started happening again and again, and I was like, well, that's just how these people are, you know. They don't want a bunch of, maybe they're getting a lot of calls too. You know, shit, you don't want to be on the phone when you, and I had 2 phones and but the rich history, I think it was like 1441 McCadden, the building. And there was just, I mean, you could feel it. That, you know, and it's beside, I think it's a Carl's Jr. It's probably changed. Things change so much around there. So it's like the building, it's maybe a half a block or a third a block from Sunset. And then on that corner of Sunset and Vine, like catty corner from up was Hollywood High. Real busy intersection. And that's basically one city or two. It's like Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard. And by then, you know, the Vine is going uphill. But I'd take my lunches. I actually love this. I'd take my lunches. I'd walk. I never ate at that car. I never ate the fast food. There was a Chinese place like across the street, across Sunset. This like little strip mall thing. I'd eat there almost every day. And just seeing the goings on. A lot of tourists have to park down that way because that's as close as they can get to parking near Hollywood Boulevard. Parking's just like a nightmare. And they're seeing things and meeting people and then seeing what the goings on of like, you know, Hollywood High. And they have a big mural of the people that like went to school there. You got Judy Garland and just everybody, you know. And then it used to be, was that where it was at? There was like this nursery, like they sold, but they would rent trees. Like these trees are in this like big, huge, boxy thing and dirt that they can like. They were always moving trees on these big trucks for like movies and who knows. But I was reminiscing about because I haven't thought about it in a while. And over the day, I was like, yeah, man, like I miss those days. They were chaotic. Some days were you're just on 2 phones. Huh? What? See? And I had 2 assistants that would like, because we had all these, this is before everything went digitized. Everything was trying to be digitized. It's like 2008. So we had physical slides. And we had to scan them, digitize them, had to get them in Photoshop and clean up this, that, and the other, a speck, a hair, whatever it was. And we worked on, you know, like we would work on like a major project that everybody's like proud of. But some of the things that I got, like I did I think it was for BMG or Rhino Records or something. They were reissuing a lot of these albums. And I did the like LA Guns, like greatest hits or some shit. And you know, I love that first LA Guns album. And I you know, I didn't take the pictures. I didn't, you know, but I cleaned them up. And so what you do is like say like, hey, you got any LA Guns? You know, Rhino Records or BMG, whatever it was. And I'd say, yeah, you know, and I would FTP them, drop them down, you know, the digitized stuff. If we had them in like physical analog, meaning the slides, we'd have to digitize them. You just send them a whole mess, a bunch. And then they get to pick, and there's codes on these, images. And either I had to FTP them what they wanted, or sometimes we'd have them upload them on our website or server or whatever it was. And then because they're not going to take them all. Then you have to negotiate the deal. Like, well, we want it like, they don't want to. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, the licensing deal on some of these albums was just like 1 or 2 years. And they would negotiate like, hey, we, and I tell them how much a picture, or maybe it'd be like a buyout where we just, okay, give us a lump, some, estimate of what we're going to, because they're not going to print these. They're just, throwing up against the wall, see if they stick. And if they sell, they, if not, they're not going to want to pay the licensing. And the photographer, see, this is the thing, like the photographer owns those images. Okay. You pay, like a band can like, have a photo shoot for like an album or whatever. And then I'm sure they own it or the label. But if you're a photographer and you're like a celebrity photographer, and you're taking pictures or you're doing live stuff, that's you own this, so they can, like, the band probably didn't see anything. Matter of fact, I'm sure they don't. Jeff Jones, LA Guns Rocks. Yeah, I love that first album. But I did the LA Guns. I also worked on a Kiss like tour book. And what was the guy's name? Ken Sharp or something like that. Anyway, same kind of deal. Like, hey, we need we're doing this. I wish I had one of them, but it was like a tour book, and what do you got of Kiss? So we just like, I would get everything we had, again, FTP them. I'm talking a bunch, everything you got, and then they'd pick what they want. Sometimes they'd want it cleaned up or cropped or lightened or even darkened, whatever. But I remember the guy, I think his name was Ken Sharp. He's like, hey, are you a Kiss fan? And I didn't get into my, because I'm a huge Kiss fan. I was like, yeah, as a kid, I didn't want to scare him off. Because my bosses had told me, like, look, man, there's stuff you like. Don't be fanboy, And so, and I remember him saying, like, hey, there might be more stuff. And he was even questioning me, like, hey, we need so. Would you be wanting to work with with the Kiss organization more? I said, yes, and I don't know if he was testing me if I was a fanboy. Maybe if I was, they wouldn't, But the little thing, because we did was it Audrey Hepburn? We did the cover of that. And that was a big thing. There was a book about her, and myself and my immediate boss both worked on that. And I remember this. So it was an old photo shoot from like maybe the 60s. She's like in a yellow dress or something, I remember. And so the one that they wanted had like a line through it. Like, I don't know if it was a scratch, and it's micro. You can, so we had to, we're like, why don't you use, there's one that's just exactly like, no, we want this one. Perhaps you can pick another one. No, we want the, so we had to, copy in Photoshop. You grab a piece and replace it, grab a piece. It took us forever. So me and my immediate boss, and I would get my boss was also on the board of the was it the foreign film something or other? Forgot the name of that, but he would get like they would send us, like, if a show came out or some kind of promo items, they'd always come in, and then sometimes he would give it to me. Like, you want this? Like, okay, I'll tell you. And of course we had over 1 million slides, and it was this huge, looked like an auditorium, the building, the room we were in, and we had like these file cabinets, metal file cabinets, like hundreds of them, and they were in like folders. And just when I had some downtime, I would go through and like try to see what I like. Like, I remember I was like, Johnny Thunders, I went, and we only had like 2 pictures of Johnny Thunders, or maybe it was 3, but it was ones I'd never seen. It's like, what is this? They never licensed them. Nobody ever, you got any Johnny Thunder? Never, But a lot of it is like quick and hard, fast. Like E-News used to do like these daily, I forgot what it was called. So they wanted a license for something that would run for like, because it's a news show and they're not really going to repeat that. So we'd give them a cheaper deal. And so it's quick and fast. Something happens maybe that morning or that night or whatever, some celebrity news, they could have gave a damn anyway, but then it's so-and-so is so you have to grab, and I didn't know, I didn't know anything about photography. I mean, I'd shot a film and I had a camera, I used to videotape a bunch of stuff, and I've been around that, but I wasn't like a photographer. I wasn't a photo editor. I knew a little bit of Photoshop. And my roommate at the time, who was a graphic designer, graphic artist, pardon me, he goes, hey, he was applying for jobs. He goes, you might want to apply for this. I'm like, man, I don't. He said, do it. He's like, you should, push your boundaries. And I did. Went there. I've told the story, I think, where I got the job because licensing is kind of like sales. You're selling stuff, but it's a license. So it's like ours was like 1, 2-year, 5-year, and 10-year licensing deals. There was no in perpetuity, which is like forever. And it's basically you're renting an image, and the agency represents all these photographers. The photographer gets most of the money, then the agency gets a chunk, and then I get a commission plus a paycheck. And so I went in there, and they were literally like, how did you even who let you in? I snuck in. No, but I told him, I said, look, man, I've been in sales. I can sell anything. Licensing just like sales. It's just like, and the owner, the boss, heard me when I was saying this, and he was like, hire this guy, because he seems like he's got driving stuff. These other people are driving me crazy, and they'll probably try to sell themselves. That's another thing. They didn't want a photographer like, well, let me send you some of mine. No, none of that. And he kind of liked that I was independent from, and he's like, we'll groom him. We'll train him. And they did, and how to, because you got to know how to. Most of it, a lot of it was email, sometimes faxing, but still phone. You got to get on the phone. And these people, this publishing world, they talk fast. It's not that they're rude. It's just like, this is what I need, blah, 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 don't. So I learned this speak of like, no chit-chatting, just have a certain, and it was a learning experience. And so they were, I was there for a year, and then when everything was going digital, because now everything's just digital, you can just, but these old folks, and they knew it would take decades to, because what we're doing, we were trying to digitize all the fun. Then we were like, look, we can't hire an army of people and all the equipment. We'll just digitize what comes in. And then that got messy and too much work. So, and the owners were getting older, and they had other businesses. They just basically didn't collapse the agency. I still think it's around, but they let a lot of people go, and I was one of them. Matter of fact, they only kept the boss above me, because stuff, and it was slowing down. Getty Images got into that. Was Getty Images? There was a few big businesses like Wales. It's kind of like you can't compete. And they were cool to me when I left. They gave me severance pay. They helped me with my unemployment. I still had like commissions coming in, because they had a deal where they had up to 3 months to 6 months to actually pay for this license. And then I had to wait another month for the commission. Anyway, because I was still getting commissions checks from them a year after I was let go. And they were totally cool. And they actually they asked me if I would, they had a real estate company. Like, would you be interested in helping us? And I was like, yeah, but then that didn't, I got something else. And then you get to know people, on the phone. I never met these people, but there was like all kinds of magazines and publishers. And so they had heard that I had, because they like you end up having, phone conversations. And they offered me to be the photo editor for some tattoo magazine. But it was more commission based. I mean, I did get a little salary, but it was more like, and they wanted me to work from home. I was like, I don't know. And then again, 250 phone calls a day. I just couldn't. And maybe it wasn't going to be that much with this tattoo. I realized I didn't want to. So I didn't sweat the small things. I was like, okay, roll with it. It was quicker for me. I lived in North Hollywood off of, was it Lancashire? So that drive, that morning traffic and going over Studio City and down in Hollywood and this, that, and the other, and there might be something going on. Like, what? So I lived near the train station. So I could just get up, walk to the train station, pay at the time, I think it was like $3 or $4 for a day pass. And trains come like every 4 minutes or something. It's like crazy. Get on that. Be in Hollywood, get off at Hollywood and Highland. And then I'd walk down to Sunset. It was so quick. I could get there. I mean, and the drive was, because I did 4-wheel drive. And then I'm like, nah, this the train. I'm gonna, and you see everybody on the train and it's cool. And you actually end up having train friends. Like you see people in the morning and they're like, hey, what do you do? We worked the Emmys, the Oscars, and I was a runner. I would go and pick up the storage chips or whatever from the photographers. They'd have a bag of them, whatever. Get it, run it back to the agency. We had somebody else, and I'd help like upload and this, that, clean up, see, and get like again. Sometimes I would get these like freebies. I remember The Simpsons was doing something. It might have been when they did that pop-up donut shop or convenience store in LA. And so for some reason they sent us a promo thing, and these the craziest donuts you've ever seen. I mean, like literally they had like, one of them had like lifesavers on it, like colored lifesaver, like just, matter of fact, they were almost impossible to eat. It was just like, what is this? Perhaps I'll try one. And then I just, in that area, because I used to live not too far from there. And it just kind of, it was my, again, right. Then if you go down at the end of Hollywood High, that's where the In-N-Out burger was. In-N-Out's amazing. I love In-N-Out. Their secret menu they have. And did that for a year. And then I lived off of unemployment and commissions for like a year. That's when my last album came out, Turn Me On Dead Man. Because I was and I worked 40 hours a week. I was doing that, doing rehearsals, recorded the album, gigging, and had a job. Yeah, you got to work, Well, at least I did. I never got to the point where I couldn't work. I mean, sometimes if I was like hustling as far as like selling guitars or cars or teaching, whatever, vocal lessons, whatever I was doing. But, and also this was a good job. It's still, it's something you can, and people are like, well, why didn't you go on to do photo editing? Well, it's like everything went digitized. I'm not a graphic design guy. And this was more of a sales position. Again, there's a lot of schmoozing on the phone. Like, hey, well, you want to. Nowadays, you just go to a website. There's no interaction with someone. They can click on what they want, sign the thing, pay for it. Boom, it's FTP'd or downloaded, whatever you got it. You don't have. There is no. So I was kind of like it was an old school way of doing business, which doesn't now with the digital world. And in LA, there used to be just huge, photography places, development. Well, when everything was digitized, that was just gone. People lost, like, dear Lord. And I didn't sweat the small things. I let a lot of stuff go. There was always some kind of drama around the building, especially with that recording studio. Um, it just was like, I never, and they would even say, why don't you go over there and, like, you're in a band. I was like, man, they don't want to. And I knew that they didn't want to know about, and they finally did figure out who I was. And they're like, oh yeah, the names. Why didn't you came around? It's like, well, I mean, I never walked to the recording studio. Like, why don't you go take a tour of it? It's like, man, I don't want to, I'm not that type of course, I'm on the phone schmoozing people like these, publishers, whatever they were. But as far as like I just felt like that was cheesy, almost fake. If I'm like, yeah, this is who I am, I'm good. No, I'm not. Always wanted to let the music do the talking. And they were like, this is a proper recording studio. Oh, and there was a photo studio, like proper photo studios where like celebrities went, this, that. And I'd see them coming and going. I never went and others did. Everybody did. I just didn't, hi, here I am. That's just, you're so, no, none of that. That was never my thing. And then how it turns out is then they're interested in you. Like, well, who's this mystery man? Like, well, I just work here. What do you do? I'm in a band. I got a book out. Oh, well, see. And my boss, Yoram, he passed a few years. Bless his heart, man. He was a cool, solid guy. Had came from like, he had to work. He had to do what he did. He made, he built his empire. Whatever. He was totally cool to me. But it was like, he wasn't a father figure. It was like business sense. Like it wasn't tough love. It was just like, hey, this is how it is. This is what you got to do. Da, 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 da. And I'd be, thank you. He would ask me like, so your album, like, what are you doing with it? No, you want to do this. You want to do that. And he was right. So I'd take his advice. And his wife, she was super cool. Even his daughter was really cool to me. Yeah, it was a great place to work. Again, sometimes chaotic, just something happened, especially if like a celebrity passed away, you got to come up with all this stuff. And then you have to FTP it to them. And you're trying to get in the first, and then certain, like the New York publishing world is well, it's what it is. It's not that they were rude. It's just they're all about business, and they're New Yorkers. And I don't know if you've ever dealt with New Yorkers, especially on the phone. It's all business. Don't, not even, hey, how you doing? Like, what do you mean how I'm doing? Don't add it. That's what I mean. What do you need? That somebody say, okay, up, get back to you. Bye. That's it. And then no, just this is what we need to. And I get it. It's so fast paced. At first, I was like, man, these people are kind of rude. No, it wasn't that. I was used to kind of like a laid back California, no, you can't. So I didn't sweat the small stuff. That's something small, just like let it go, learn, adapt. And I did. And it helped me and that's why sometimes I'm like that. Like people, it's not that I'm, again, I'm talking in front of a camera, I'm doing a podcast, but it's not like sometimes I don't like a lot of small talk. Yeah, I talk like sometimes I'm quiet and, just don't want to. But this weekend, I haven't seen Scotty Beers. I went to, see him this weekend. We haven't seen each other in months. We were going to do a Cooking with Scotty Beers, but I forgot my laptop and all the stuff I needed. And it was just like, we need to like relax. It was beautiful. We drove around the lake there where he's, we couldn't believe how it was so dead. Nobody was out. We're like, what is going on? Is there some kind of, we couldn't figure it out. We thought maybe there's a concert somewhere or a race track. I don't know. And those Chuck eyes, my God, Scotty can. So he was cool about it. He's like, hey, how do you want to season your steak? He's asking me and his mother, Mama Beers. And so he had it's Montreal steak shake thing. I was like, yeah, that's what I want. That's what Mama Beers wanted. But Scott was he's just like salt and pepper, let the grill do its thing. And then we went to the grocery store and we got like these pre-made in the deli, like twice baked potatoes. Man, that was actually the belle of the ball. Those twice baked potatoes, and they were huge. Cheese on top, and you only need like 10 minutes in the oven. Bam, like awesome. And we all got Scott made two. He's like, so we'll have leftovers, so you can eat a steak and maybe tomorrow have it for lunch. Why I ate mine that night, both of them, because I had had steak and friends. I just just engulfed the awesome and laughing. We were laughing. They had some friends come over. It was cool. I needed that. I needed to be around like just a small crowd of friends. Everybody good times. And I might be going back in a few weeks to hang out again. Because I had to also do some bits here and there about, because I used to live there. So I'd, had to go do this, do that. And it turned out to be quick and easy. So, hey, we had some beers. Of course, we had some beers. And the Miami Vice, we were laughing so hard, because we were huge Miami Vice fans back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Miami Vice, but the show and Tubbs and Crockett, he has an alligator on his boat. Laughing like crazy. Good times. Again, we weren't splitting the small stuff. Because we were like, should we go out? Should we? Yeah, no, let's just, hang here. We don't need to be. We used to go. That's all we used to do when we were younger, was go here and there. And we were talking about that. Like then when you get older, I'm 52. You just want to like enjoy your friends and, just, again, watching those cats, watching the mama cat and the baby cats. And like, it's kind of like, it gets your heart, watching those little cats, the kittens, I should say there. Beautiful. But the traffic, man, like I was taking 55 north and I thought it was bad because I left Friday. I had some stuff to do in where I'm at. Then I immediately left the city to head to where I was going. Traffic, but it's Friday. It's I knew it was coming. But on the highway, usually if you get you're driving through Illinois, it kind of flattens out and it's farms and no, there was all this traffic. Then yesterday, coming back, my God, I left early. I wanted to beat the heat, and so I left there at like 8:30 in the morning, and traffic. What? See, and I was looking at the license plate because people were speeding. Like again, I know I'm an old man now, and I get speed, driving, but I saw every kind of license plate from all over America. Like, what are they doing on the 55? Going, I don't know. I mean, it is technically summer now, so maybe they were in construction. I got caught in construction a bit, where it's like it was a 3-lane highway down to 1 lane. Like, oh no! So I took an extra like 20 minutes, half an hour. I hate that. End up like chain smoking cigarettes and hot. But good times. Good times. Just reminiscing, laughing. We watched a lot of. We're like into like paranormal. We watched like Skinwalker Ranch show and mostly that. We kind of like deep dived on the That's fascinating, the Skinwalker Ranch, to me, about all the weird shit that's going on. And now they have like this scientific study going on, and it's just, they're finding the strangest stuff. They haven't seen any cryptids, I don't think, but yeah, I loved it. Jeff Jones, I love cats. I do too. I used to have cat. Now I have a dog. I had 2 dogs, but I've always had a dog. I love animals. And again, enjoying the little things, just like, the little things in life. Relish in that, because when times get bad, shit, you don't want to, because they can, and you don't ever know when it's coming. You're just like, "Man, what happened?" See, and those chuck eyes. I mean, I remember back a while back, he was talking about them like, man, it's just like a ribeye but cheaper, and then you can, they're bigger and thicker. I'd say what. I think that's my new thing when it comes to steak. I think so. Again, I'd never heard of them. What's a chuck eye? What is this? Because I went on Friday when I got into town. I was like, you know what? I'll buy some ribeyes for us and surprise them. Show up with some ribeyes. They were so expensive for these small little ribeyes. I'm not going to spend no $60 for 3 small. No, they're going to shrink. No, or more than 6 maybe. And then I took them cheap cigarettes. There's in Missouri. They have like cheaper cigarettes. So I got Scotty and Mama Beers like a carton of cigarette. Yeah, good times. Good, heartfelt. And that's my old stomping ground. I lived there back in the day. Then I spent this last year. That's where when I started my podcast, I was in this little town. Now I'm in the city. That's a totally different thing. I'm actually outside the city a little bit. I'm not living. The city is it's what it is. But yeah, don't sweat the small things. Just grab a guitar and I actually have a guitar coming because I kind of surf around and look here and there, and I haven't been buying any guitar. This is the first guitar I bought, man, maybe in over a year. But there's these certain sites that I saw it was a B stock, and B stock is like, it's new, but it's got like a blemish in the lacquer. Who cares? Like, it's so hard to see. They had a picture of it. I'm like, what am I even looking at? Oh, okay, I see it. Who gives a shit? It was so cheap. In fact, this might have been the cheapest it's a Telecaster that's coming. I was like, so I think that's coming tomorrow. And I bought that to flip. I'm just going to mod it a bit, set it up, do my kind of wizardry that I can do, and then flip it. Unless it's like a diamond in the rough and I love it. So I might like stick on to, play it for a while and get my mojo on it, and then flip it. Or you never know. Sometimes these guitars, this one guitar, I got another Telecaster. I bought the flip, and how long have I had it? Years. Because I bought 3. And then this one, I sold 2, made my money back and doubled the money. And then I had this basically a free guitar because I'd already made my money back and twice the amount. I was like, man, this thing plays really good. I need a throw around guitar that, it's kind of like my go-to if I don't want to bust up my like custom shop stuff. So we shall see. Again, the small things to me, it's like, hey man, a good deal on a guitar, like cheap, on the cheap. Maybe I'll show it. Maybe I'll do a podcast about it. And again, not sweating certain things. Like we didn't do the Scotty Beer cooking with Scotty Beers, and we've been planning it on the phone. And then as I was too far back to turn away. I was already on the highway, and I was like, damn, I forgot my equipment. Shit. Then we get there. There's some other stuff. It's like, man, we don't need to be doing it. We'll do it later. We'll do another cooking with Scotty Beers because I miss doing those. I think they're fun. And Scotty's a great cook. That's his thing. Like he could just, Um, turn nothing into some of the best stuff you've ever tasted. The Friday night when I got there, for when I was tired, I had to before I went to their place. I did some little bit of business here and there to cleaning up some stuff, not cleaning up, but like doing some things I needed to do in town there, and then got to it was so hot. Like that's the first thing. And my car's black on black, and it's just like, what the hell? And my AC's not working. It's just like, and so we're like, what are we gonna do for dinner? We're like, well, we'll think about it. We had some beers. We started laughing, and we decided. I was like, you know what? I'll buy everybody Chinese. You done it for you. I owe you guys. Let's get some Chinese, and that was awesome too. So we just went and ordered Chinese, and sometimes I think that's the best thing to do. Just forget about cooking. Just order a mess of food. In this case, Chinese food, which is one of my favorite foods. And what did I get? A General Tao's chicken. Oh, dear. Awesome. Had enough for the next day for lunch. Bam. Perhaps I will have this for lunch. Yes. Yeah, good times. Because the old me might have thought this would have been a boring weekend. Like, because I was always wanting to go out like Friday and Saturday night. And during the day, do something like we did go to the lake, but we didn't like properly go to the lake where we like threw down a blanket and we're swimming. No, we just driving around. Scotty was showing me some of his fishing holes, like where he fishes. And we were shocked that there was nobody. Maybe it was too hot for fishing. I know when it's hot, fish don't bite. I guess that's the thing. Just like reminiscing, he has a truck and we're driving around. I thought it was awesome. Like low level, low key, just enjoying the weather. Because even though it was hot, when we got out of the truck, there's like a little breeze going on in the woods, and we didn't see any deer, but we did see a raccoon. I like to see wildlife. That makes me feel good to see like things that are like it ain't all that bad yet, I needed it. I needed after because I've been working like crazy, and I'm getting ready to. So I had to go downtown to do this because I'm getting ready to go back to school. I'm going to do some further my education, believe it or not, to do better things in life. Make more money. You got to think about that. When you get my age, it's like, I should have saved money. No, I didn't. So I got to, do what I got to do. And I look forward to that too. Like the little things, man. Like, don't sweat the small things. Don't instead of like worrying about it's like these last couple months, what I was doing, I was like, hey, if I go back to school, I can do even better and, learn more. And so instead of like focusing on the, no, you focus on what can I do? What can I to make this? In my humble opinion, that's what you have to do. You have to, like this past week, I had to do this, that, and the other. And I knew that I've been wanting to do like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, my podcast. I was like, I got this stuff going on. I don't want to be stressed in front of the camera and push it, see, and be like, that's why I'm doing one today. Is today Monday? Yeah, I think it is. Because I didn't want to be all sweaty, and there was stuff I had to do around here, and also they've been doing a lot of construction this week in the neighborhood, which is just, they're laying wires, and I don't want to fight it. Like, you know what? Go with the flow. Don't sweat it. Start again next week. Don't be. So I did enjoy, like turned it into a Tina, I was wondering why you didn't have any lives from last week. Yeah, I had stuff to do. Also, like I had it wasn't stressful, but I had to do this Zoom interview for a job. Like it's a thing. So I wanted to, and I also had other things to do. So it's just like you have to weigh your options. Like, this podcast thing is just like a hobby and something I like to do. And so sometimes you have to be like, responsible adults and weigh your options. And there you go. And then after I did that, I got it. And then, then you got to go do this and that. And I was just like, well, shit, I'm not going to. Sometimes it's good to do that. Because this past year, I did my podcast every day. You can go back and watch there's 300 or more. There's enough of me ranting like a madman. And I'll keep you guys posted, updated about what's going on. And and even with the podcast, there's things that like I was thinking about, like this new live stream. Like there's not that many people in my live stream, but this is new for me doing the live stream. And my old format where I didn't have it live, I talked about one subject. I kind of missed that. I think I'm going to do both. I think I'm going to, because there's stuff that I want to talk about or revisit, I like to, because I'm not focused on one thing. And I know that if I did, I could probably get better in the algorithm and do, it's just for me, I've said this before, like my most popular videos are true crime, but I don't like thinking about that all the time. I'll take my hat off to people who do, and they can do it right, and I love watching that. It's just that for me, I can't do that. I'm not an investigator. I just parrot what I watch on TV or watch on YouTube about certain things that crimes or whatever. Tina, do you, Charlie, will still tune in for you. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. Yeah, I got to do me. I can't, like, there's software I could get, and there's these things, and there I could be spawning windows and this, that, and the other. But for me, and I thought I would do that. And I thought I would go out more because I did get a tablet with a killer camera on it. I thought it'd be here and there. And it's just like, well, what do I want to do? And a lot of times it's just me. This is it. I need that spontaneity. I need to be spontaneous. So, hey, if I want to go, I want to go. What time? Like there's things I know I should do. Like there should be a dedicated time and you should stick with that. And I might lean into that, if I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but then life gets in the way. I can't do my spontaneous kind of thing. I know that I should have like a dedicated time and here I am, but it's, I got to do me. What I want to do. And I'm still learning, Unresolved crime. Frank, what up? How you doing, Frank? I have to just do what I was talking to other podcasters like, man, you need to start going on other people's podcasts and stuff. And then you'll get more subscribers and this. I'm good, Frank. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm real good. And then it's just like, man, I feel like I'm coattail riding if I want to do, I will, but again, this to me is a hobby. This to me is like, I want to make it enjoyable. There's other podcasters that are better. And I've said this from like day one. And also in certain areas, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. People that do it right, you need to step out of their way and let them do it. Unresolved crime. Charlie, what was your band name again? Well, I was in Love Engineer. I was in Lamada. I was in Darting Oxcart, Solo, Charlie Greer. And my book, Frank says, what's your book? It's Charlie Greer, Rant of the Madman. You can go to Amazon. Charlie Greer, Rant of the Madman. I've talked about this 1,000 times. I've never been paid. They owe me a shit ton of money. It gets me frustrated to think about it. I I own the movie rights. I've tried to solicit it. I've pitched production companies. Pardon me. I have someone in LA that every once in a while will feel like they're going to help me. It's a process. But Frank, I would recommend just going online, finding. You can buy it, and there's downloadable versions and stuff. But I am not getting paid, so you can. I think Amazon has a little button, or it says "Look Inside" to let you read the first part for free. That's what I'd recommend. Or there's some sites that'll let you read it for free. Do that, because I'm not getting any money from it. I don't want to charge people that, um, you know. And another thing is, I didn't know. I thought my book, because I'm kind of a lowbrow, underground. Hardly nobody knows who I am, But my first editions are going for like big bucks. I've seen them up to like $800, $1,000 for a first edition of my book. Are you ready for the trial the 15th? So Frank, the 15th, what trial is that? Is that the Delphi? Because I'm not even up on the Delphi. Is that the Richard Allen, the RA guy? I'm not even up on, I haven't even, because I usually, suppression hearing. Okay, I don't even know what that is. But yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm fascinated by the Delphi murder, or murders, I should say. I'm glad that the ball's rolling on that. I think they have one of the guys that's involved. I believe that. I believe RA is. I think there might be others or maybe one or two. Who knows? Yeah, I'm ready. How about you, Frank? Are you ready? Because I'm sure people will be there. Frank said, unresolved crime. A suppression hearing is a scheduled court hearing where the defendant can raise defects in the arrests. And everybody out there, if you don't know about unresolved crime, check him out. See, he continues constitutional errors and search warrants. This process is primary focus on defendant getting evidence thrown out or excluded from the case. Each suppression hearing is on the record and held before a judge. Cool. Thanks, Frank. I didn't even know that was going on. Again, I'm behind on the case. I used to, follow it. But again, the Delphi case, you need an Excel spreadsheet to keep up with this and that and the other. And, it's, and everybody, if you don't, go watch Unresolved Crime. Frank is awesome. That's where I got that's how I was, I'd watch Frank. Unresolved crimes. I have a good contact with Anna now. That's awesome, Frank. Yeah, that's what we were chatting on Facebook the other day. That is cool. And bless her heart. Pray for Anna. Pray for Abby and Livy. Pray for all the family. Pray for law enforcement and the judges and all that. This needs to be, rectified. They need to figure out, because supposedly there's other stuff in this case that we don't know about, and people speculate that it's this assumption, which is all you really have. But some people take it so far. It's just, I won't watch a lot of the stuff because it's just a bunch of bullshit. You don't know, and they're like, "Oh no, see, I have this secret." Yeah, come on. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, man. Congrats on your new job. Thank you, man. Thank you. So with my job, I'm actually going back to school this summer so I can do get a bigger position, more money. We all have to have jobs, or at least I do. And I have wants and needs and but yeah, how do you think, Frank, the suppression hearing is going to go? Because you were saying something about like constitutional errors and defects in the arrest. Are there any? Or do we even know? Or do you know? Or maybe there are. Everybody has, certain rights. even if you're arrested for something heinous, we don't want mob rules. It's been changed. This is Frank. This is unresolved crime. It's been changed from a bail hearing to suppression hearing. Is that like kind of routine, or is this kind of strange for it to be that way? Bail. Would he even give somebody bail that I don't think you can get bail. EG not good. Who's EG? Again, I'm not up on the. That's another thing. They use initials for this case. There's so many. It's like a Rubik's cube, and I'm just not good. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Because I haven't been listening to Not Enough Evidence. Yeah, I think all they have is like a bullet. And I don't know. They raided him. I've heard like speculation about certain things. Man, I don't know. I think he is involved. I think they got one of the dudes. He's pretty much, this is my humble opinion, speculation, assumption. He's bridge guy. That's the dude. He puts himself there, dressed like that. The fact is that the tip line is still open for a second guy. Think about that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think there's another person involved. Then I also have, there might be people involved pre-crime and then after crime that didn't know about the crime, meaning gave rides or was told something about the crime and they withheld evidence. Like, is you supposed to go tell the cops or he was just really unlucky? I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out why this went down. Was he just a creeper out there? Like, was it planned? Was there, let me tell you this. Do tell, Frank, do tell. School us all, brother. Yeah, was it planned? Was it is this Anthony Shots thing? Is it, who knows? It gets confusing. Okay, RA seems like a Hail Mary. Really? He was there before the girls, according to the affidavit. Like on the trail. Then how come he was not seen in any of the pictures? Yeah. Why wasn't, what? See? Was he, I don't know. Was he lucky then unlucky? Who knows? Was he, was his dumbass a savant, like a criminal? Crime is strange, man. Crime is weird. Life will throw you a little bit of luck. In this case, horrible. He was seen on the first platform and walked back. No shit. Watching fish. Oh yeah, I thought he was on his. Didn't he say he was on his phone looking at stocks or something? Again, I don't. Yeah. So for the last few months, multiple months, I haven't been following the case. And then he walked back. He did not see the girls whatsoever. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Was he? Why do you think the suppression hearing is? Frank, do you think that he had something to do with the Anthony Shots account? What do you think the suppression hearing is? People are trying to make him fit the profile. They cannot. Bullet his treatment in jail. If they treated him that bad, he might walk off even if he did. So you don't think the Anthony shot is not at all? And there are other 2 people involved we do not know about. Yeah, I thought there was others involved. Yeah, and they were treating him bad in jail. What the fuck? I mean, you due process. You've got to, even if you're a scumbag, man, you got to get. We have, thank goodness we have this where people have the right to certain human rights that you have to, again and again. He's only charged. He hadn't been, So the 15th. I'm sure there's going to be people live streaming there. Hopefully, again, I haven't been keeping up on the case. Sometimes what I'll do at night, I'll play a live stream, a podcast, and then lay down. I want to be watching, just laying there. Then I fall asleep in 15, 20 minutes. I don't even, I was following this case, but lately I haven't been. I did watch the was it Hannah Shakespeare and Fig Solves or Reason what he that was pretty cool. Why do I not follow it anymore? I'm busy doing other stuff. I have, I've just been busy. I've been following it. For one thing, until recently, I didn't even do a podcast for like months. I stopped doing it every day. And I gave myself a breather. I was like, dude, 300 days in a row. My God. And you don't know how hard that is until you've done 300 days in a row. And I'm not a true crime podcaster, man. I'm all over the place. I can't focus enough to. And again, I'm not good at that. There's other people. You're a smart ass. No, I'm not. I'm just not good. You're better. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, how much of it would be if I tried to be? I can't do that, man. I like this case. I like something true crime, but I can't do. I'm not good at investigating. Again, I parrot what other people say on other podcasts, and I just talk about what my opinion is, basically, or humble opinion. Speculation, assumption. It drives me crazy. Some of these other podcasters that seem to know and this, that, and the other. I'll just turn it off. If they go start going down a certain road, I'm like, dude, get that. This is. You are good, my man. Otherwise, you would not be interested. Yeah, I'm fascinated with this case. I'm late to the game too. I'd heard about the case, but it wasn't until that night they did the Anthony shots. And somehow I was already on a deep dive of paranormal crime, watching, one of those days you spent like 6 hours at night just going watching it. And that happened to be it happened to refer that to my my feed and YouTube. And I was like, what is this? Oh, I remember that guy on the bridge. They haven't solved that. Huh? What? See? And then yeah, but you're really good at it, Frank. Me too. Look at me. Yeah, but you're good. Matter of fact, that's how I found you. I was watching you. I was a fan of you. And a lot of stuff. How I know a lot about the case is listening to your podcast. Unresolved crimes. I kicked and banned all the people who were given a false complaint or narrative. And look how far I've come. Yeah, congrats, man. You've come a long way. But you're dedicated. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. That's what you got to do. There's going to be people that are going to, again, don't sweat the small things. This is what this episode's about. Don't sweat the small. People are going to be coming, Frank. Unresolved crimes. That's just psychology, human nature. People are, they'll never admit it, but I get it too. Well, they hacked me. That's why I quit doing it. I just got tired of dealing with all this shit and emails that I was getting and this, that, and the other. I mean, granted, I had like some good things too, but and again, it was a hobby. I've never been I'm not monetized. I don't, I just do this because I like it. If I don't like it, it's not fun anymore. I won't do it. That's what happened these last couple of months. I was like, I got other things I want to focus on. But yeah, I will. Matter of fact, later on, I got some stuff to do. I'm going to go to your page and listen to your most recent stuff. I always loved listening to your podcast. And that's how I know a lot about the crime and I don't even know how I found you. I think they referred it to me in my, how YouTube will refer, because if you're like going down that rabbit hole, they'll just start referring things in your feed. I think that's how I found it. Yeah. Let's see. Haha. That is the Oregon serial killer that is acted down. Yeah. You know what? I saw that because I'm subscribed. I saw that. I'll watch that. I don't know who the Oregon serial killer is. Maybe I'll go down that rabbit. Perhaps I will, Frank. Perhaps. Maybe but I don't need another case to be like, what? See, huh? I need to focus on. I will. I'll check it out, man. I'm fascinated by Idaho is the number one, though. And that's where that dude killed the students. And that's what that is. See, I'm not even, I don't, because I was kind of following that too for a bit when that happened. Yeah. I'll check that out. I'll check out the Oregon serial killer. But I got to get out of here. I got stuff to do. I got to do this, that, and the other thing. I thought I'd come on today and be like, hey, here I am. I plan on doing more this week. So I was going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That was going to be my new format. I'm going to try to stick to that. That's what I want to do. Again, this is a hobby. I'm not, say hi to Tina from me. I will. Frank says hi, Tina. I've never met anybody that watches my YouTube channel. Never. I've never in person, I'm saying. I don't I'm here, they're there, they're this, that, people all over the place. But yeah, I got to run. Thanks for showing up, Frank. Thanks for everybody else for joining me today. Frank, I'm going to check out your Oregon serial killer. I'm fascinated with serial killers. Again, it's just a thing. It's like watching CSI or something. Frank, I will credit you some viewers. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. And hey, keep it up, bro. Get your alligator skin on, man. These people are, people are. Go tell them to fuck themselves. That's what I would do. Not everybody, but you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta do house cleaning. You gotta flush the toilet every once in a while. People are, how people are. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Anything I've ever done, I've had to deal with certain things that is, okay, I have to weed people out, man. Weed people out, but I got to run. Thanks for everybody for joining me. Frank, I'll watch that. And keep me posted on the 15th. I'll remember that. Everybody have a great day. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Charlie Corner Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, I remember that scene. He pulls out some big Bowie, When I was a kid, I used to, like my grandfather gave me like this little like pocket knife I had forever. And, I used to, as a kid, we'd have our knives. We'd whittle. I don't know if you guys know what whittling is. But anyway, I got to run. I love y'all. Frank, have a good day. Thanks for showing up. So I love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.